Alright guys, today we are going to build a line spooling station to fit multiple spools instead of having to swap spools when you're putting backing and then you braid and then fluoro leaders and all that kind of stuff. I want to make it so that they all just fit on one station and make it really easy to spool up your reels when it's necessary. So let's get into it. First I'm going to trace out some spools onto a piece of shelving board so I know where I'm going to put them. I know how many I need. I need one for 50-pound braid, one for 30-pound braid, and one for 17 fluoro, and one for 12-pound fluoro. Those are the big spools that I use on bait casters. So those are going to be mounted this way, and then this board will stand straight up with the line coming off the top of the spool. I also need a spot for the spool for the backing. I just use some cheap monofilament, usually 10 or 8 pound, whatever I can find that's cheap. So I need a spot for that. And then we're going to mount this board on another board, which will have the spools that I need for spinning reels. So let's get into it. Let's start tracing these out, drilling some holes, and then show you how we put it together. Now let's drill some holes. A 3/4 inch paddle bit. 3/4 is what's going to fit these bigger spools, and 1/2 inch on the smaller spool. Do is take 3/4 inch bolt, put it through like that, take my spool and put it on there. Washer, that, and the 3/4 nut. Now you can adjust how tight you want that coming off just by tightening or loosening the nut, and it's really that simple. Let's get the bigger one. You could even put another washer on the back side there if you wanted. I think I'm going to countersink those in there. So now what I'm going to do is use these shelf brackets just to stand this up and mount them there, and go from there. brackets, L bracket there. I'm actually not going to be able to put the spool where I wanted right there, but I do have a plan. I can probably mount it on the other side, and I also have another one of these boards that I can mount over here if need be, but I kind of wanted to just put the spinning, the spools for my spinning reels mounted right here. So we're going to work that out as we go. Let's continue on. So we have one side completely mounted. Two shelving brackets. These are 6x8. Got them at Ace Hardware. Same with the boards. The 5/8 shelving. The bottom one is 12x24, and this one is 8x24. Again, 5/8 thick. Just shelving, all-purpose shelving plywood. We have to adjust how these spools are going to go. They're not exactly how I wanted to put them, but it's going to work out. I'm actually going to put some on the other side for the line. So there's my spinning reels. I just need two. I need one for backing and one for braid. I use 15-pound braid on all of my spinning reels, and I just use a mono backing like I would on my bait caster. For obviously the backing, and then I use fluoro to tie to my braid, which I just gonna hang my spools for my leaders so that I can just get the length that I want, cut them off. I actually keep my leaders in my kayak in little plastic bags. I pre-cut them. I do like 8 foot, cut them, put them in bags, label them, and store them in the kayak. That way there I'm not dealing with a bunch of spools of line while I'm on the water. So let's drill the holes for the two spools for the spinning reels. The braid, it's the 3/4, and the backing is 1/2 inch. Okay, so here is the spooling station pretty much complete. I am going to add a board on each side on the bottom, because where the bolts go through, it makes it so it's not level. So if I take a piece of the other shelf that I have, just cut a strip and put it on each side, it'll lift it up off the table enough so that the bolts have room. I thought about recessing them into it, but the 5/8 I think is just too thin to recess the bolt inside of it. I think it would just take away from the structure and end up causing problems. So the easiest way would be just add a couple of strips of wood on the bottom and screw this to those pieces of wood, and then it's not going to go anywhere. And as you can see, I have all my spools of line on here. My 50-pound braid, 17-pound fluoro, 12-pound fluoro, 30-pound braid. Those are for my bait casters. On the back side here, these are 8-pound, 17-pound, and actually, sorry, 8-pound, 12-pound, and 20-pound fluoro on that side. Those are just for leaders. And here you have the stuff for my spinning reels, 15-pound braid, and this is mono backing. I also have another mono backing spool in the basement that I have to get and mount onto here for the backing for my bait casters. That way there I'm not swapping spools all around. That was the whole point of building this, and I think it's going to work out really, really good. But that's pretty much the basics of it. I mean, you could adjust it for your own needs. I don't know if you use this much line, or if you need another one of these on the other side so that you can spool up multiple different lines. This is pretty much all the line that I use, unless it's something really specific for a certain place that I'm going. But this pretty much covers all of the line that I use on all of my rods. So that pretty much covers it. This is the line spooling station. Cost probably, I'd say, I bought some other stuff at the store, but roughly $100, I'll say, with the shelving brackets, the wood, the bolts. The most expensive part really is the wood. As anybody knows, right now lumber is ridiculous. So the most expensive part was the wood. So if you have wood laying around, you could use a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, whatever. I just grabbed this because it's a nice smooth surface. I wanted it to look kind of decent. So that's pretty much it. 3/4 bolts for the larger spools, 1/2 inch bolts for the smaller spools, and that covers it. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe. I'm going to try and put out more and more content as we go throughout the season. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.